I just realized I'm wearing the Germany jersey while I'm going to do this German show review. Didn't plan that, but oh well, let's move on. Welcome back, guys. I finally got to watch this show on Netflix called Dark. This is the second time I've watched it already, and since it's in German, I would recommend watching it in subtitles rather than in dub, because honestly, I feel like it's kind of terrible and it's just not going to feel the same. After viewing it for a second time, guys, I would say that it gets even better because of the way things tie back into the first couple of episodes. A lot of things start making more sense the more you watch the show, and even, you know, watching the second time, it just blew me away because of how detailed this show gets. And for the major part of this review is going to be spoiler free, so don't worry about me telling you big plot points. So this show is basically about this small town called Winden in Germany. A lot of children start to go missing in this town, and then this brings out the worst, the secrets, and the past of all these families that are introduced to us. The main character in this show, I would say, is Jordis, who's trying to cope with the death of his father's suicide. He's trying to understand, you know, why did he commit suicide and why did he go out that way? Like, he didn't really understand. And also we have the police officer named Ulrich, whose son goes missing, who's like at the center of this entire plot. And also at the same time, his brother went missing 33 years ago. So a lot of the people in this story start thinking that, you know, maybe these disappearances are somehow connected. And I would love to go into each character, but there are so many, to be honest, that it just would take me a series of videos just to cover the entire cast, which I would say I love. I feel like the entire casting choices for this entire show was the best because it does such a great job in introducing every single one and developing their past, their present, and even their future. The show itself is very dark, just like the title says. It gets very disturbing and very twisted as the episodes progress down the season, and it manages to surprise me like every episode. There's always something in every episode that's just gonna make you open your eyes and like just keep paying attention because every little detail counts in this show. Now this show takes place in 2019, and it also goes back to 1986 and 1953. Now this is not a major spoiler, but this show plays a lot with time, how time can be manipulated, like time machines, paradoxes, and all those things. So that's at the very center of this plot, along with the children that have gone missing. It perfectly shows how these families have changed over time, or how some haven't even changed at all, and it's very like disturbing seeing those people like be the same as like when they were kids. Now one of the major things outside of the casting choices and the character development is how this show manages to represent time. Like the entire mystery of a wormhole, time traveling, a time machine, paradoxes, all those things sound very fun and interesting, but this show somehow manages to like make it more real, to the point where it asks you, you know, like what if that does really happen in real life? You know, who's going to be in charge of controlling time? Like, you know, is it going to be an evil person, a good person? How are they going to manage to create a time machine? And you know, if they do manage to somehow create some time machine, who's going to be the test subjects? This show brought to light all those questions because time traveling sounds fun, but in the right hands. Now there are a couple of mysterious characters, I would say, in the season. I would say mainly 3 or 4. A couple of them you will be kind of able to predict of who they are, but then there are other people like Noah in this case, who is the antagonist. You know, you don't really know much about him, but you know that his intentions are not good at all. And going into season 2, there's a lot of questions to come from him that I hope gets answered in season 2. And then I also realized that some people were comparing this to Stranger Things in some way, but honestly it does not resemble. The only resemblance here is that children go missing, but that's really about it. There's no other comparison besides that. The score and soundtrack that they use as well, like the sound effects, is really good. I really love the visuals that go with it because it adds to like the tension, and at the same time I feel like it's what causes those scenes to be very disturbing and twisted, because there's a lot of scenes where it's very gory and very graphic. Like some scenes in this show feel so depressing to me. They're so well done that it feels like a science fiction drama, but at the same time it feels like this could actually happen in real life, which is weird. Now I don't really have that many complaints about the show itself. The only thing is that the show is very slow paced, guys. So if you guys are not into like slow pacing shows where there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of character development, then this may not be for you. But trust me, all that time that you spend seeing these characters talk to each other, build relationships, it pays off in the end, because every single character is important and they matter to the timeline. And that's what I loved about this show, how everybody matters. I feel like there was no character in the story where I was like, nah, maybe they didn't need to be on screen. We're still going to find out more about these characters in season 2, because the way that things end, it just adds more questions. You know, what's going to happen to Jonah? What happens to Ulrich? Who was the grandma? What's her intentions? What's Noah's intentions? With that said, guys, I think this is probably like a masterpiece. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I love the show, guys. So I'm going to give it a perfect score of 5 out of 5. So guys, have you seen it? What you guys think about it? Leave it down in the comments. If you guys Haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, hit the little notifications button. Also follow me on Twitter at my handle FMO1126. Like this video and share it. But as always guys, stay tuned.